Hey everybody, it's Kneecap here, and welcome to This Week in WoW for the week of March 26th. As always, we're going to get started with the Mythic Plus affixes for the week. This week we have Tyrannical, Afflicted, and Bolstering. Again, that's Tyrannical, Afflicted, and Bolstering. Another a random Afflicted week in here with Bolstering, and of course Tyrannical. So this is just not a fun week to do Mythic Plus, especially at the end of the season when people are kind of not wanting to do them anyways. This is a kind of a rough week if you are planning on doing any Mythic Plus. But we could beat that into the ground if we want to. But instead, we'll go ahead and talk about what's going on in the game and other news as well, because there was some other news coming out as well. First, let's hit the stuff for the weekly for the game. Trial of Styles coming to the end today, so hopefully you got to take part in that. I speculated that maybe there's a few more rewards because they have been trickling in, and there were a few awards. However, like I said in last week's video, I hope that they kind of like do not a redesign, but just kind of a rework, make it better, make Trial of Style better would be pretty cool. We also have the Dragonflight Dungeon event this week. It's a good event. We have the Pet Battle bonus event, and we have PvP Brawl Warsong Scramble. What's good about Warsong Scramble it is a great way to get up your rep with Warsong or Silverwing Sentinels or whatever. It's a great way to get up your reputation just by capping flags in Warsong Scramble. It's kind of like a speed run of it. So you have that going on as well. Towards the end of the week, we'll have the beginning of Noblegarden as we get into April. That's the Easter holiday event in World of Warcraft. And so that'll be starting up. That's when I know that my kid loves to do very, very much. He thinks it's cool. So I always end up doing that one with him. As an adult, it's not quite as fun, but it's still fun to do maybe one time and just get whatever you want from it or whatever. So again, another one that could probably use, especially in modern day, they could probably literally hide eggs like all over a city at this point instead of just like in the small little town. But that's neither here nor there. We'll see if they ever try to dive into that. In other news, we had the date for Season of Discovery, the next season of that. I believe that's coming. I can't remember the exact date, but it's just a few weeks from now. The season, or whatever it would be called, the third step of Season of Discovery. The raid is going to be 20 man. It's going to be Sunken Temple, I believe, was the news there. And so we'll be heading there in Season of Discovery. I did not get into this Season of Discovery. If I knew it was going to be this short, maybe I would have got more into it. I did level my character. I didn't really do anything, though. I didn't even do the raid one time. Maybe I'll try to do the raid one time before this next little stage of Season of Discovery comes out. The Cataclysm Beta also is being tested right now as well. That's going on. So if you are, definitely not for me. I loved Cataclysm, actually. I'm one of the few people, well, it seems like a few people that loved Cataclysm, but I really did. But I definitely don't want to go back and play it again at the same time. So I'm not really probably planning on playing that at all. But that is coming out if you are a classic enjoyer and you also liked Cataclysm. And then other kind of like outside the world news is patch 10.2.7, which a lot of people forget exists, is hitting the PTR, and we'll be getting that probably in several weeks from now. So we have this Pandamonium is going to be the next one. So we had Plunderstorm, and Plunderstorm is turned out to be a big battle royal. We'll talk a little bit more about that at the end of the video just to kind of recap last week. But then in 10.2.7 we have Pandamonium, which we don't know what that is yet. We don't know if that's the name of the event, but it's been hinted that this is more of a PvE focused thing, and so I'm definitely interested to see what that's going to be. It's been thought of to be maybe like a speed running of dungeons or challenge modes from Pandaria being brought back, something along those lines. But we'll see what that is after the Plunderstorm thing. I have no idea what it could be. It could be anything, I guess. On the Plunderstorm note, it had a lot of mixed reactions at first. I think a lot of like the really high end people liked it. I think a lot of the more casual, so the people who didn't like it, I think, are casual players who also hate PvP. And when I say hate PvP, I mean do not want to engage in PvP at all, but still play the game a lot, right? So they want the achievement, they want the stuff, but they don't really want to engage in PvP. Other than that, I think it was very well receptive, and it's fine for a group of the community to not like something. I'm not against that at all. Um, like I'm not going to chastise people for that, I guess. But I'd say overwhelmingly it was a huge success. So we'll see how they develop that client where Plunderstorm's at going forward, and if they add other little modes to that and stuff like that. I think it's very interesting. Some very interesting things could come from it if they choose to. So we'll see where that goes. But yeah, tons of like proliferary news this week. Sometimes I can't talk when I do these videos. Little ancillary news, whatever vocabulary word you want to use there. With no hard news, of course, it's like, oh, well, the PTR and, this is coming out in a few weeks. But, it's a lot of excitement coming forward through WoW. Actually, I would be remiss if I didn't mention this because I'm not going to do a video on it. But it's actually been estimated that the sub count for World of Warcraft today is about where it was at the peak of Legion, which is like 7.25 million subscribers. This doesn't surprise me that much. I guess it does a little bit just because I didn't think as many people would come back since Shadowlands. Then this is for Classic as well, right? This is whoever has a sub, right? I didn't think that many people would have come back after Shadowlands already, but it bodes well. And this is what good decisions make. Like Season of Discovery is fine for a lot of players. Retail is going in the correct direction ever since Dragonflight started. It's not to say that they haven't made any mistakes, but it's going in the correct direction ever since pretty much the end of Shadowlands, I guess. Going in that correct direction. And yeah, and the sub, it turns out if you make the game better, more people will play it. And I think that's really good for anybody who's, I know there's always people who are like, there's only 500 people playing the game and, it's just dooming and all that kind of stuff. And I get that, I guess. But, it's a very popular game still to this day. And people should realize that it is more seasonal now. You have the Classic community who's not seasonal, who plays constantly, right? And then you have the seasonal retail community. And, we can all kind of work together. I wish there was a little bit less hatred between groups, like in that factor, but it is what it is, I guess. At the end of the day, I'm happy for anybody who's enjoying the game because I still enjoy the game. So that's where I'm at. So that's it for this one. As always, I do ask you to please subscribe to the channel because it helps me out so much. And other than that, everybody have a good one.